Hey guys, it's me King Diablo and this is the second part of my Korea server patch review video for this week. And in this video I'll show you all the class specific buffs and nerfs that the classes got. The part 1 of this video showed all the common buffs that all the classes received in this patch. If you haven't seen it yet, I will link it in the description below, go check it out. So first let's start with Phantasma class. So this is the first buff scale for Phantasma class. The PvP damage of the scale has been increased. This is the second buff scale for Phantasma class. So the PvP damage for this scale for both Phantasma class and for Void Knight Succession scale has now been increased. Lastly, the passive skill for Phantasma class has also been buffed, so the damage dealt to other players has now been increased to 10% from 5%. Now let's see Primrose class buff. So this is the first buff scale for Primrose class. You now receive 5% reduced damage from other players while using this skill. This is the second buff scale for Primrose class. The Glacial Wall scale can now be linked after using this scale if the flow of the Glacial Wall scale is turned on. Now let's see Scholar class buff. So this is the first buff scale for Scholar class. So the damage reduction effect that I mentioned in the previous video has now been added to this class. The damage reduction effect basically reduces all the incoming damage by 75%. This is the second buff scale for Scholar class. The speed of use of this scale has now been increased. This is the third buff scale for Scholar class. The mana consumption of this scale has been reduced to 15 points and the mana consumption of the flow of this scale has been reduced to 20 points. This is the last buff scale for Scholar class. This scale now has grab immunity but it's not applied in arena. Now let's see Legatus Class buff. So this is the buff scale for Legatus Class. The movement distance and the speed of use of the scale has now been increased. Now let's see Nova Class buff. So this is the first buff scale for Nova Class. After using this scale, you can now link the scales Command Knight's Charge, Frenzied Bishop and Thorns of Punishment scale with this skill. This is the second buff scale for Nova Class. This skill now has grab immunity. Now let's see Crimson Lily class buff. So this is the first buff scale for Crimson Lily class. The PvP damage of the scale has increased. This is the second buff scale for Crimson Lily class. The PvP damage of the scale has increased. This is the third buff scale for Crimson Lily class. The movement distance of the scale has increased, and after using this scale you can now link the scale Reeling Thirst with this scale. This is the fourth buff scale for Crimson Lily class, and after using this scale you can now link the Ronda of Doom and Reeling Thirst scales with this scale. This is the fifth buff scale for Crimson Lily class. After using this scale you can now link this scale to Ronda of Doom scale. Also, this succession scale for lahn class got its PvP damage increased. This is the sixth buff scale for lahn class. The PvP damage of the scale has increased. Lastly, the passive scale for Crimson Lily class has also been buffed. So now when the passive skill effect is active, the damage received from other players are reduced by 10%. So that's it for today. If you found this video helpful, then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. I will see you in the next video.